The latest now on the Trump transition. 17 days until the inauguration, and the president-elect is back to business and back on Twitter. We're going to hear from his senior advisor, Kellyanne Conway, in just a moment. But first, ABC's Cecilia Vega is at Trump Tower here in New York. Good morning, Cecilia.
Robin, a new year, a new tweet storm. As you said, his inauguration is just days away, but Donald Trump is now on Twitter, at least, looking backward to that big November win, taking another victory lap. Fresh off his big New Year's bash in Mar-a-Lago.
All I can tell you is we're going to do a good job. Okay? We're going to do a good job.
Donald Trump is ringing in 2017 with a Twitter blitz, and it seems no subject is off limits. The president-elect writing, North Korea just stated that it is in the final stages of developing a nuclear weapon capable of reaching parts of the U.S. It won't happen. Plus a jab at Chicago's mayor on that city's murder rate. If mayor can't do it, he must ask for federal help. Even a complaint about a new book. Trump writing, it used the worst cover photo of me. Just 17 days to go until inauguration, Trump is promising something else on the calendar first. Big news on those Russian hacks.
I also know things that other people don't know, and so they cannot be sure of the situation.
Like what do you know that other people don't know?
You'll find out on Tuesday or Wednesday.
He's still doubting evidence from 17 U.S. intelligence agencies who say they have concrete proof of Russia's involvement.
I want them to be sure. I think it's unfair if they don't know.
And Donald Trump is back here in New York now. He's got meetings today right here in Trump Tower, including with Mike Pence. Everyone, George, is waiting to see if today might be the day that he releases whatever this new information he says he has on those Russian hackers. George?
And Conway about that, but now that the new Congress is back for its first day of business, so much on its plate, from repeal of Obamacare, tax reform, confirming Trump nominees. So let's bring in our congressional correspondent, Mary Bruce. And Mary, even before the official swearing in today, the House GOP voted overnight to take away the power and independence of the Congressional Ethics Office.
George, this came as a total surprise. Late last night, behind closed doors, House Republicans moved to effectively gut their own watchdog. The Independent Ethics Office was created to keep lawmakers in check, to help investigate any allegations of their own wrongdoing. But now Republicans want to move that office under their own control, saying it will help create a fairer process. But even Republican leaders are frustrated and Democrats are outraged. It's a sour note to kick off the first day of the new GOP-led Congress. George?
Schedule, Mary, for this Congress, including getting those Trump cabinet nominees confirmed, those confirmation hearings scheduled to start soon.
Yeah, and Democrats are ready to go to battle over those confirmation hearings, specifically targeting 8 of Trump's picks. They want those nominees to release more of their personal financial records. And if they don't, George, get ready for a long, drawn-out fight here on Capitol Hill.
Thanks, Mary. Let's get more on this now from Donald Trump's senior advisor, Kellyanne Conway. Welcome back. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, George.
So let's start out with this congressional action. President-elect Trump famously promised to drain the swamp in Washington. He wanted real reform. So is this what he had in mind? Does he support what they've done?
I haven't discussed this with the president-elect directly, but let's make clear that you're still going to have an office of complaint review. In other words, it's not like we're taking away.
But now it's under oversight of the Republican majority in Congress. It's not independent.
Well, but the full House will vote on it today, and the Democrats will have their say. Certainly, they're part of the House. But look, there's a very ambitious agenda to push forward. The Republicans have been given the majority in the House and the Senate, most of the governorships. They've won over 1,000 state legislative seats under President Obama's watch. So there's a mandate there for them to make significant change.
But is this the way to start gutting the Independent Ethics Office?
Well, but again, gutting it doesn't mean that there won't be a mechanism. I don't want your viewers to be given the impression, George, that there's no way for complaints to be reviewed. But there's also been an overzealousness in some of the processes over the years. And we don't want people wrongly accusing. We don't want people mired in months, if not years, of ethical complaint review.
Let's talk about North Korea. They are signaling they may test an intercontinental missile. We saw that tweet from President-elect Trump saying it won't happen. So does that mean he's going to order the military to shoot down a North Korean missile test?
It doesn't mean anything like that at the moment. He's not president yet, and he's not making policy at the moment. We still have a president for the next 17 days, George. At the same time, President Trump will be very tough on those who are developing nuclear capability. It's been a big disappointment to many Americans, including the president-elect, that Iran, for example, was emboldened and increased its nuclear capability through one of the deals that this administration has put forward.
But their program is now on hold. What about North Korea? You know, there's so few avenues, so few tools to stop them. What is the president-elect suggesting he's going to do?
He has not stated that publicly, and he won't before he's inaugurated. But we do know that there are sanctions that are possible. They haven't always worked. I think China would have to have a significant role here as well. But he's putting them on notice. He's putting North Korea on notice through this tweet and through other statements that this won't happen. He, as President of the United States, wants to stand between them and their missile capabilities, which experts say could be deployed to reach Seattle almost immediately.
Finally, on that Russian hacking, so many people were caught by surprise by those comments by Mr. Trump over the weekend saying he knows things that other people don't know about the Russian hacking. What was he referring to?
Well, presidents and president-elects have to know things that you and I don't know. I sure hope they do. He's privy to intelligence briefings of all sorts. He has the presidential daily briefing, which is a product, but he has other briefings. And today he is...
But it's the consensus of those intelligence briefings that Russia was behind it.
Well, Julian Assange of WikiLeaks said just yesterday in an interview that will be aired tonight on a different network that it was not a political party and it was not
So is that
Russia.
what Mr. Trump was referring to?
No, he's not referring to that. But he also has said, as president-elect, that he is receiving an intelligence briefing from our top intelligence officials from across this country here in New York early this week. And he plans to do that. And the reason he's doing that is because he wants the information.
But he was saying he already knew something on Saturday that we don't know.
Well, he does know things that we don't know. We see a lot of blind quotes. We see a lot of unsourced information. There were CIA operatives, George, who were invited to testify before the House Intelligence Committee and refused to show up and instead are leaking to the press. This is not how we as Americans want our intelligence to necessarily work. Look, at the Trump in the Trump administration, we believe that politics should not interfere in our intelligence, but we also believe that intelligence should not interfere in our politics.
So if those intelligence officials come to the president like today or tomorrow, whenever that briefing is, and say, we know Russia was behind it, will he accept it?
He'll have to see all the evidence. He'll have to see what's in the briefing. And remember, you're not saying it now, but many people on TV try to conflate any Russian hacking that may have occurred with the election result. And that has been conflated, unfortunately, where people are still trying to find a reason why Hillary Clinton lost. You can't deny it because on every other network, on everything, everyone who makes a statement about the Russian hacking these days are saying, aha, and that's why Hillary Clinton lost. I think it was very embarrassing to the Clinton operation to have the content of those emails revealed to the country. That's what they really don't like about it, that they were questioning Hillary Clinton's judgment. Can she find her voice? People were calling Chelsea Clinton a spoiled brat. It was a very uncomfortable situation for them.
Kellyanne Conway, thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
And we do expect that intelligence briefing today.
We do. And we do know 17 days until the inauguration. We're going to go to Amy now. The morning's other top stories.